All right, everyone, welcome back into another NFL DFS video. Going to be breaking down the two-game slate that we have here on Saturday, giving you guys my favorite plays, some of the injuries that we're looking at, and then going to be giving you guys my first look build as well as what the 9-to-5 lineup builder is telling us is the top build. Let's go on and get into it. So just taking a peek at the first game, we do have the Texans versus the Chargers, two defenses that have been pretty darn good, especially lately as well. So this is going to be a lower scoring game, 39.5 total points, but as you'll see in the next game, that doesn't really matter. Both games are pretty low scoring. This game, however, is going to be a 1.5 point spread, so seemingly a toss-up. Okay, that doesn't really change anything for our DFS builds. That being said, the second game, we kind of do have some decisions to make. Okay, the Packers are going to be 4.5 point favorites in this game. I think that number could go up if Jordan Love is confirmed active in this game, as well as Christian Watson. It does seem like Lamar Jackson is going to end up sitting. That being said, we do know that this game total is going to be lower scoring. So this is a game where I think we could game script a little bit with some of our builds, make some logical pivots and whatnot here. But for the other game, it is kind of just a straightforward game, kind of probably an ugly game, hopefully a little bit better than the Christmas slate games, though. I know a lot of people that have fantasy money on the line in their season-long leads that probably not too happy with the outcomes from those games. Now, I will say this slate is a little bit more difficult, just in the sense that, like, an example of this, Houston kind of draws a tough matchup for the running backs. Woody Marks, we don't even know how many snaps he's going to end up playing coming back from injury because you have someone like Jordan who has looked pretty good over the last couple of weeks. I'm actually very interested to see whether or not he'll be active or whether or not Nick Chubb will be active. I think one of those two actually have a decent chance to end up sitting. Either way, that does make Woody Marks, who I do still think is going to be the RB1, a tougher click. That being said, so is everyone here for the Houston Texans here. Like Nico Collins is a tougher click, although he's like the only player we can truly trust for the Texans. I think we might get like literally what he got in the last game against the Raiders, 10 DFS points. That could end up being enough. Like we're going to have to pay up somewhere, and maybe that's the route that we go. I am a little bit worried about Dalton Schultz as well, given the matchup that he has. It's going to be a difficult matchup. We do know that CJ Stroud has peppered him with targets. Maybe we get lucky with the touchdown. And that being said, I don't think we're really looking at CJ Stroud as well. So we go ahead and get into the Chargers. Justin Herbert also draws a difficult matchup, so we don't like that. I think Omarion Hampton is going to be the running back play if Kamani Vidal does get ruled out. We might even be forced into Hampton kind of regardless. But if Vidal is out, then Hampton just becomes a core play. He does draw, in regards to this game, he draws the best matchup. And obviously, it's still not that great of a matchup. But again, if Vidal's out, we're just looking at Hampton to be an easy click. We probably do need to begin to one Chargers pass catcher at least. It has always been a guessing game. I actually kind of like getting to Gadsden the most. We can project him to play about 60% of the snaps. It does draw a pretty good matchup here. And I think they will be trying to target that matchup. Over the last 4 weeks, it's actually been like bottom 10 in the league, Houston Texans against tight ends. So maybe there's something there. But Trey Harris, compared to like the Keenan Allen price tag, Trey Harris is kind of the clear value on the slate, playing in about 50% of the routes last week. It kind of seems like it's getting Keenan Allen at $1,000 cheaper than he should be. That's kind of how I view Trey Harris. We know Johnson very much touchdown dependent. Maybe Ladd McConkey pops a big player too. I don't want to mess with McConkey too much. And so this is the tough part. And then we jump into the Packers versus the Ravens. Also, not the best. So we'll start with the Packers because I think that's going to be the easier place. Christian Watson currently questionable with an illness. You kind of expect him to get through that. It'll be interesting to see what the injury report is today as I'm recording this Friday. I think he's going to be good to go. And if he is good to go, he is the player that we want to be getting into. He is coming in off of a disappointing game on the last game. Two reasons why that is. One, Malik Willis being the quarterback, obviously not nearly the thrower that Jordan Love is. Everyone knows that. But also, he had 3 end zone targets. Like, he had half of his targets were end zone targets. One of them, he probably should have sat down in the zone where Malik Willis threw it there. He didn't. He tried to keep running. Had he sat down, it probably would have been a touchdown, and we're probably looking at him completely differently, right? That being said, he still had 6 targets. In the previous game against Denver, guys, he was well on his way to a decent game. Obviously got injured early on in that game. And so the recent game log looks a little bit worse than what it probably will be with Jordan Love in there. And so I do think he is the receiver that we want to be targeting. That being said, we probably want to begin to another one. You could get to Romeo Doubs, who is still the receiver number 2, obviously coming in off of a big game last week, but that was really just one big play. Jaden Reed feels like the safe play among the receivers, and maybe Watson's a little bit limited. I don't think that's going to happen, but Jaden Reed ended up playing in 64% of the snaps, had an 81% route share, but only had 3 targets. That was pretty shocking to me. Still, I think he'd be the one that we'd want to get to the most. Matthew Golden continues to get open, continues not to get the ball. Been a very strange year for him, but we're probably not looking at him as well. Luke Musgrave, I don't hate, guys. Just simply with John Fitzpatrick being out. That being said, you do have Josh Weil, who will take over a little bit of work, but Luke Musgrave at almost the min price is pretty darn appealing as well. Like, this is a very good value. I don't know if we need to get here, but if we can get to like 5 DFS points at 2.7 at the tight end position, I think we're okay with that. So yes, if Jordan Love's active, he's just kind of the easy quarterback play on the slate, guys. Priced at 5.5, should be the highest priced quarterback on the slate. Kind of strange, honestly. Gets the best matchup. Could argue the best quarterback on the slate as well. So it is interesting. Like, we're getting him $500 cheaper than Herbert, who draws a much more difficult matchup, who obviously has his O-lineman woes and whatnot there as well. CJ Stroud, who really doesn't have too many big ceiling games. I mean, he's fine. The point is, he should be the one that's higher priced, especially on this slate. Now, I think it's because he has the concussion. Maybe he ends up sitting. Now, if he ends up sitting, then I think that actually kind of brings in Tyler Huntley a little bit more. Malik Willis is not terrible, but you're maybe not getting to Josh Jacobs as much. But let's finish out the Green Bay Packers, because we do kind of need to make a decision on whether or not we're going to be playing Josh Jacobs here or Emmanuel Wilson. I do think Josh Jacobs is the pay up. He is seemingly good to go. He is off the injury report. So that's pretty big for him. Assuming he's good to go, then we are just simply playing him. I think we just trust him. Emmanuel Wilson, he has been someone that, in the last game did get a lot of work with. I thought that was a mistake. I think if they just give Jacobs the football, maybe he was a little bit banged up, but the fumble sucked with Jacobs. You could argue the whistle should have been blown. Kind of a weird play. Wilson looked fine, but you get Jacobs the football. And so I am kind of going Packer heavy. Now, you could say that playing Jacobs with Love doesn't necessarily make sense, and I wouldn't argue that. The tough part I have here is honestly what to do with Derrick Henry, because if we are doing more of a Packers approach here where we're kind of just betting on the Packers to win, obviously we want to begin to Derrick Henry them, because when they play from behind, we know Derrick Henry kind of gets phased out of the game, and especially with Tyler Huntley in at quarterback, you kind of just expect the Packers to sell out to stop the run. If that happens, Ali becomes kind of interesting, because he has been someone that has been used in the receiving game. So I kind of expect him to get going there. Keaton Mitchell basically splitting the workload with Derrick Henry. I mean, he hasn't looked bad. He's popped big plays. It made sense why they got him more work, honestly. But Derrick Henry obviously had a big game as well. This is the tough part. It's kind of a 3-headed monster here for Baltimore. Obviously, with this build, I think we'd probably go with Ali, but he's only playing 20% of the snaps, so I don't necessarily love that. Again, probably not playing Tyler Huntley. I don't mind the idea of getting to Zay Flowers. I could see him popping a big play while the Packers are selling out to stop Derrick Henry. Zay Flowers maybe hits one big play. DeAndre Hopkins not playing all that many snaps, guys, but he is getting more work than Bateman, Bateman's kind of playing like double the snaps that Hopkins is getting. I don't think we want to play either of them, although one of them going off wouldn't be too crazy. And then I don't feel the need to get to Mark Andrews or Isaiah Likely. So this is the tough part about this slate. It's like we have a lack of great plays just in general. So we probably do want to play the Packers DST, although I think Chargers DST is firmly in play. I think Texans DST is firmly in play as well. Heck, if also Jordan Love sits, we're probably looking at Ravens DST. So I'll play the Packers now since I'm going Packers heavy here, so I don't necessarily love that. I will still try to get to a little bit of Zay Flowers just because, again, I think he could pop a big play. And I do still think we want to get to Nico Collins, even though I'm not necessarily expecting a big game out of him. And then we have enough to get to Dalton Schultz. Again, I don't love either of those plays, but that's just kind of the slate that we are being presented. And so, guys, not going to do anything different to the lineup builder right now. We'll do a quarterback stack with the pass catcher, and that's about it. So we'll run it, see what lineups it spits out to us here. The top performing lineup right now: Stroud, Jacobs, Hampton, Collins, Watson, Dobbs, Schultz, Woody Marks. Again, I don't want to begin to Woody Marks. I think that's a mistake. But then the next one: Love, Henry, Jacobs, Nico, Watson, Reed. So we are seeing a lot of Reed-Watson combos here. So the data is basically agreeing with me there. The top ownership build right now: Love, Hampton, Marks, Nico, Johnston, Reed, Mark Andrews, and then Josh Jacobs. Again, defense doesn't really matter to me. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video, guys. Appreciate you being here. Good luck with all the lineups that you end up putting out there. If you guys would like access to that 9 to 5 Sports NFL DFS lineup optimizer, as well as all the other tools available on the website, they're all available for a low monthly cost of $10 a month. Take advantage of that, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck, and as always, let's keep cashing.